What is going on, guys? My name is Chaotic and welcome back to another Grand Theft Auto 5 video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 secret tricks with you guys which you may not be aware about in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now this is episode 4 of a very popular series on my channel, and if you guys want to check out any of the previous episodes once this video has finished, you can of course do so, as there will be links in the description of this video to those. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into things. So as for the first trick, I think this one is very useful, and I'm sure we've all been in this situation before where we're in a job menu and the job itself is about to start up, there are a few seconds left, but not enough people have joined the lobby to make the job itself enjoyable when playing it. As an example, as you guys can see in the video right now, there is only myself and one other person in the lobby, but I would like to have a full lobby of people when playing the race, but unfortunately there are only 30 seconds left until the race begins. As I'm sure you guys know, as soon as someone joins your lobby, you have roughly 60 seconds or so before the race begins. You can also extend the time, but that only gives you 30 seconds, which isn't always enough time to fill the lobby or at least get a few more people in. But there is in fact a very simple trick which you guys may not be aware about, which allows you to reset the timer as many times as you want and whenever you want, so you can stay in this lobby for as long as you want until you eventually fill the lobby or have enough people in there to make the job enjoyable. So basically what you want to do is go to the invite page, then go to matchmaking and change it from open to closed back to open, and when you do so, that will reset the timer from whatever time it was back to 1 minute, and you can keep doing this over and over again. So basically whenever the timer gets low and you only have a few seconds remaining, simply change matchmaking from open to closed back to open again to reset the timer. And there we go, that's simply all there is to it for this trick. It is definitely very useful and definitely worth bearing in mind, so when you play jobs you can get more people into the lobby and make the job more enjoyable. Anyway, so moving on to a secret feature which you may not be aware about that the Duster plane has. Now you can buy one of these from the Elitist Travel website for roughly $300,000, which yes, is a lot of money, but in comparison to most of the other planes is fairly reasonable. But this one does in fact have a secret feature which, as far as I'm aware of, no other plane in GTA 5 has. Now as soon as I tell you guys what this feature is, you may try and say, well, it's kind of obvious, as the feature itself did work in story mode and was used in story mode, but the part which you may not be aware about is the fact that you can also do this online. Anyway, so the feature itself basically allows you to spray pesticides out the back of the plane. With this being a crop duster, that's exactly what this plane is designed for, and like I said, this feature was used in story mode, but also works online. So to use this feature, all you want to do once you've taken off is press X on PlayStation, A on the Xbox, or X on the keyboard on PC. And you can in fact use this feature as much as you want and for as long as you want, as you have an infinite amount of pesticide. Now admittedly, this feature is not the most useful feature in GTA. You can't really do anything with this apart from use it for aesthetic purposes only. You might be able to have some air shows with this, maybe something you can show your friends and they'll want to know how you've done this. You might be able to make some videos with the Rockstar editor, or maybe take some Snapmatics or something along those lines, but apart from that, there's not much more you can do with this feature. But moving on to a trick which you can use in a variety of different scenarios, which basically allows you to travel further when using a parachute. Now from personal experience, the best time to use this trick is when you're getting fairly close to the ground. Now of course there is already the trick which lets you pull the strings, it lets you travel slower and slightly further, but in some scenarios where you're being shot at, maybe by some people in the session or some cops, that isn't exactly the best trick to use, as you're simply just a slow moving target. So what you want to do for this trick is hold back on your analog stick so your character is pointing upwards, and then you want to move left and right, just like I'm doing in the video, at 90-degree angles. And every time you turn, your character will lift up slightly, allowing you to travel further. Now for obvious reasons you can't use this trick to make yourself go higher and higher and eventually go back up as opposed to going down, but this trick will let you travel a lot further than you usually would if you didn't do it at all. So not only is this trick very useful, but of course in those scenarios where you are being shot at, doing this will let you dodge the bullets. Now with GTA 5 being over 2.5 years old, I'm sure by now you guys are fed up of playing the same Rockstar created jobs over and over again. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about and can relate. When you press start, you go across to online, go to jobs, then go to quick job, and then select one of the jobs on this menu, and when they load up you'll be taken into a menu playing a job which you've already played 50 times. But what you can in fact do is stop Rockstar created races from being selected. Simply go to the options tab, scroll down, and scroll across on the filter quick job content to user created only. Now once you've selected this option and you go back to quick job and then select something from this list, once the job loads up, instead of being a Rockstar created job, it will now be a job created by another player. Now sometimes the job itself will be a Rockstar verified job, other times it'll just be a random one depending on what's available at the time. But it just means with this feature you can now have a break from the same Rockstar jobs which you may have played several times each. And of course with this feature you can now play jobs which you may have not played before or something which you wouldn't usually come across. But moving on to the final secret trick which I will be showing you guys in today's video. I'm going to show you guys how to get yourself an unobtainable weapon and collect as many of them as you want. So for this, what you want to do is go onto your phone, go to contacts, then you want to go to Merryweather, and as soon as the phone answers, you want to call in an airstrike. That will cost you $8,000, but when you do so, in your hand, you'll then be given a flare. Now instead of throwing it down, don't do anything whatsoever, and this flare will then save in your weapon inventory. As you guys can see, I now have 2 flares, and that's because 2 times in a row I called in an airstrike but didn't use the flare. And you can repeat this as many times as you want, although each time you will have to wait 5 minutes, as you can only call in an airstrike once every 5 minutes. But nevertheless, you can call up Merryweather and compile as many flares as you can possibly store. Now there may in fact be a limit of having a maximum of 25 flares in your inventory at any given time, but nevertheless it is a pretty cool weapon which you wouldn't usually be able to purchase as it's not available from the Ammu-Nation store. Now yes, at $8,000 each they are very expensive, but for those people that have loads of money, this won't be so much of an issue. Now these flares aren't exactly the most useful weapon, you can't really kill anyone with them, but I'm sure you'll still find a few things you can do with them, for example to show off to your friends, and I'm sure they'll definitely want to know how you've got them. I guess you could also use them in Snapmatics, and finally maybe use them in Rockstar Editor videos. Anyway, well there we go guys, that is it for this video and those 5 secret tricks and features which you may not be aware about in GTA Online. Now like I said earlier on in the video, if you guys want to go ahead and check out some more secret tricks and features which you may not be aware about in GTA Online, you can of course do so, as I will have some links in the description to some of the previous episodes from this series. But if you guys could take a few seconds out of your day to click the like button, it would help me out a lot and it's also greatly appreciated. Also be sure to leave a comment on this video and let me know your thoughts and feelings about these secret tricks. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would recommend that you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 content. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.